Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting into? We are getting into Love is Blind season 7. We are now on episode 2 called Perfect Husband Book ... because they were playing that game as the sequence opened up basically in the women's quarters. Right. I've just watched this bloody program and oh my god is all I can say about. I don't know if it's the levels of desperation in people that they will let fly under the fucking radar in this show, for goodness sake. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked by what I just watched in this program. Anyway, before we get into this episode, as I always ask, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know when I do videos. Please comment, share, like, do whatever it is that you do, because you know I am on the way to 1K. Anyway, let's get into this episode, because I was kind of wondering how things will play out for Hannah and her decision making. Okay, so we have Monica, because we get to be introduced to Monica today. So we have Monica basically talking about how long it takes her. It takes a lot for her to fall for a guy. She talks about the crazy chemistry that she had with her past partners. So Monica basically has a typical type when it comes to men. Although she says this is a show that leads with compatibility, I have to question, is it really though? Is it really though? As people will have to really be truly looking for someone to settle down with, wouldn't they not? Like, really want it. I mean, we've had the blueprints from episodes past. Yeah, but what that shows us is these people, you have to be like-minded. You have to be like-minded. You have to go in there with a true aspect and genuine feeling that this is what you want out of life, and you genuinely want someone to share that with you. So in essence, the compatibility comes down to the two people that meet and if they're being truthful with each other. I don't think this show leads with compatibility. I really don't. It leads with something, but it ain't compatibility. Let's just put it that way. It probably has a hint of desperation added into that mix too, with some of these people up in here. It's just the dynamic is just weird. Like, it's absolutely weird, yeah. So you see Monica, she goes on a date with Stephen. Stephen, eh? Anyway, so Stephen says that his last relationship was 2.5 years ago. And he was with his previous partner 2.5 years ago for 2 years. Okay. And he said that it was one of his most healthy relationships because it was a communicative relationship. So my question coming from that, yeah, if I was Monica, would have been, well, what went wrong from your perspective? If that was the most healthy in terms of communication relationship that you had with this person, why are you then here? Why did that not work out? Do you think Monica bites back with that question? No, she doesn't. To be fair, Monica lets a lot of things go. In the conversations that I've seen her have, Monica lets a lot of things go. Let's just put it plain as day, yeah. So Monica doesn't bite back with a question at all that I would have asked. And basically, she just goes on the fact that she's just loved the fact of what he said about communication. I'm just like, hi. Really? It was that easy? It was that easy? So Stephen turns around and says he's huge on communication and emotional intelligence. But my thing, that doesn't mean that you have those. Let's just put it that way. That doesn't mean that Stephen has those. Stephen likes to chat a good game, but his true essence comes out at the date that they have just before the end of this bloody episode. Let's just put it that way. That does not mean that this man has emotional intelligence, yeah, when it comes to speaking to people and the things that he says and thinks is correct in saying. Okay, so sometimes I kind of think that these guys and some of these girls actually give the bare minimum. Like, seriously give the bare minimum and don't really ask the hard questions. and be truthfully open and honest when they're answering those questions at all. They let too much slip and slide in these initial stages, and that's what comes out for me. Whereas with other ones who have managed to have the longevity that they have, they ask the actual questions that they need to ask while they're in the dating process, because ain't that what you would do if you was outside? You'd ask those questions anyway, would you not, in terms of getting to know someone? You ain't going to sit there and take them at fucking face value, are you? You're going to ask the questions that you need to ask to get the answers that you need. But no, not these, really not these. When Stephen and Monica talk, let's just put it this way, I just feel like they've got a book, researched what they needed to research, and studied what they needed to study, what makes a good relationship, and they be using quotes galore, they be using all the buzzwords. If it was me, it would not fill me with butterflies at all. Again, I'm talking about them accepting the bare minimum at this stage, basically, and taking people at face value instead of getting the proof that they need that, yes, we can make this work. Yes, you are on the same path as me. Certain views align, certain fundamental issues align. Do you know what I mean? That you need to find that stuff out. And when it comes to the financial aspect of it as well, because you're potentially wanting to spend the rest of your life with this person. These things don't seem to be discussed about in the slightest. So they then turn around and they both agree that they are drawn to flaws. I was like, what the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Because everybody's flawed in this world. Nobody's perfect. So you're drawn to everybody. Because the only flaws that I would see that they will be drawn to are the ones that has a flag waving on it and it's red. Ain't no green ones in sight. Just don't. Oh, I just can't. I can't. Like, honestly, can't. I can't. This. So, they go on to talking about certain situations. So Stephen decides that he's going to bring up this discussion that he wanted to have with Monica. So basically, Stephen said that he holds the title of technically being a cheater. How can you technically be a cheater? You've either cheated physically, or if it ain't physically, you've cheated emotionally, but you've cheated. You can't technically be a cheater. You're cheated or you don't cheat. That's the be all and end of it at the end of the day. That's the upshot of it. Okay. So he then goes on to explain that, you know what, he's being honest and basically he's been cheated on as well multiple times. I'm just like, when you give an explanation for something, don't then give a justifiable reason as to probably why you've done the shit that you've done at the end of the day. Because if you've been cheated on multiple times, then why in the fuck would you do it to somebody else? Because you know how that shit feels. So basically, Stephen explained the situation as he felt he didn't deserve the woman that he was with at the time. So he slid into some DMs and emotionally cheated, but he cheated with intention, but then he got caught. So he had the intention of meeting with the girl that he was texting with. That's how I'm reading into it, because he was cheating with the intention to do something, right? So it started off as probably emotional cheating, but then he was going to action that cheating, but then he got caught. Now my thing is even if you believed that the woman you was with you didn't deserve, wouldn't you at least try and have that conversation with the woman that you with, knowing full well how you felt when you were cheated on? Or wouldn't you decide that you're going to end the relationship? Why would you then go down a path of saying, oh, I'm just gonna, like, you know, start sliding into some people's DMs and literally going to cheat with intention? Monica basically didn't read between the lines of any of that, yeah? And love the fact that Stephen spoke up about it. Love the fact that, you know, Stephen was very open in regards to the situation that he found himself in, and the fact that, you know, he appears to take on all this responsibility in terms of the actions that he took. She basically said that she'd been cheated on, but she managed to find a path to forgiveness for these people. And then she builds up Stephen, like sits there and builds this man up. At this point, I was just looking at the screen like, is that all it takes? Like, seriously, is that all it actually takes to impress a person? Huh. Okay. But I know shit happens within life and stuff like that, and people slip, dip, do whatever, yeah? But I really, yeah, at this point, I was saying I do not get genuine vibes from Stephen. I really don't. I don't get genuine vibes from Stephen, and I said at this point, Monica will accept anything. Like, anything. And that does come to fruition, but we'll get there. So Monica was literally in that day ensuring that Stephen felt good. I didn't see him reciprocate towards her. And telling him about how he shouldn't be too hard on himself. So Stephen then turns around. This must be his reward. Yeah, this is his reward for Monica being so open and understanding. So he decides that he's going to take Monica on a date. She was like, oh, that's so good, all giggly, all nice. And I was like, yeah, I don't get, yeah, no, just no. Stephen ain't the one. He ain't the one. He really ain't. And Monica needs to rethink how she vets men. Like, seriously, she needs to rethink that shit properly. So Stephen basically already, you see him go to the men's quarters, already talking about saying him in love and all this, that and the other. And I was like, yeah, because you literally did the bare minimum and got what you wanted. You didn't have to work hard for that at all. Like, seriously, didn't have to. So you see Hannah in the women's section, and Hannah is in her regretful era. She's fully soaking up that regret, let me tell ya. I think this is where emotional maturity comes into play, and Hannah don't have it. Like, she honestly don't have it. And I only think the only reason why Hannah regrets her decision in dumping Nick D is because Brittany is dating Leo. And Hannah, in her mind, believed that she may have been the only one that was dating Leo. Told you, these people like to accept the bare minimum. Like, literally like to accept the bare minimum. Hannah didn't even wait to see what would happen with Nick D. Yeah, she just took Leo and his words at face value in terms of them being twin flames. Because Leo, in my books, is a little player, and he's loving the fact that he's got two women to choose from. He's loving the fact. Loving it. So Hannah was explaining to Marissa and Katie basically what happened with Nick D. But the explanation that Hannah was given was kind of embellished because it didn't happen the way that she said it happened. Let's just put it that way, right? So it definitely did not go down the way that Hannah's putting it. So all I was saying in that scenario is Nick D was fighting for them. He was fighting for his space with Hannah. And because Hannah doesn't have the emotional intelligence or the maturity to understand what it is that Nick was doing at that point, she did not take what he was saying at face value the way she did with Leo. She wants all the niceties, the flowery this, the this, and this, and she will fall for it. Because at the end of the day, it's Hannah's own insecurities that is blocking her from Nick D. Because she's heaping all this shit onto Nick D, believing he's this type of person, and she don't even know him. And it's the same with Katie, Marissa, and Ashley, I think it's Ashley W, who say some very disparaging things about Nick D, which is quite awful, because they made Nick D make it seem like he's a predator of freaking women. Because Hannah goes, oh, I know what he'd do if he's gone home. If he's gone home, I know what he'll be doing. He'll be on Instagram DMing all these women. And they were like, yeah, he'll probably be sexting them and all this, that and the other. And I thought, really? Really, my guys? Really? And you don't even know the man? Like, seriously, don't even know the man? But you see, Hannah likes to listen to all this white noise. She likes to listen to what everybody else is saying and doesn't follow her own beat. She doesn't follow her own drum. At the end of the day, she follows what everybody else says she must do. Absolute idiot. Absolute idiot. So you do see Brittany and Yenny talking, and Yenny does tell Brittany about what the situation has happened. And basically, my thing is Hannah should have stood on business. If that was the choice that she made, but she made it in the view of thinking she had an option with Leo. But Brittany quickly burst her bubble. I would say accidentally on purpose, even though Brittany's saying it was an accident. She didn't mean to call Leo's name when she went on that date. I would still say it was like accidentally on purpose, because there's going to be a point where they're all going to know who they're dating at the end of the day. And that really burst Hannah's bubble pretty quickly. So then we go back to Hannah. And she's said to Katie and Marissa that she's basically requested a date with Nick D, but she doesn't know if he's gone or not. And I thought, after the nastiness that you said about this man, why would you request another date with him? Because you want to know what it is. Hannah wants a backup plan. She wants a backup plan. That's all it is. This girl wants a backup plan. Yeah, in case Leo does not pick her. I see what she's doing. All I know is Nick D ain't gone nowhere, because these people will make TV somewhere at the end of the day, and with the scenarios that they wish to create. So we know the producers ain't got rid of Nick D. Nick D's still there. He's gonna come out and have his date with Hannah, which we do end up seeing anyway. So we see Brittany and Leo come next, and basically Brittany lets Leo in on what happened within the women's quarters with Hannah and with Nick D. And I thought to myself, girl, not tell him everything. You don't have to tell him everything. So now Leo is there telling Brittany about he wants to focus on them two. He's kind of got a crush on her. And I thought, what, you kind of got a crush on her? Or you have a crush on her? So Brittany's response is she starts to be in a sad mood. She starts to cry, basically. And then she turns around and says that I'm in a sad mood and I should have went home, but she doesn't know why. I'm like, are these two for real? Like, seriously, are these two honestly for real? She don't even know why she's upset, but yet she'll cry. So Leo talks about using the L word with her, but he's falling for her hard, but he's afraid to use the L word. And he says it's amazing he has made 2 connections in there. And I'm trying to play the woe is me card in the face of Brittany crying. But then turns around and said, I don't want to use the woe is me card because I know it's harder for you, Brittany. I just thought, come and get my selector, please. Come and get my selector, please. Oh, where did they find these people from? Somebody tell me, where did they really find these people from? Because A and B is not looking good. I think it went to A, skipped B entirely, and went all the way down the line to Z. Jesus, these people are hard work. Like, honestly, they're hard work. Again, in my opinion, I really don't think Leo and Brittany really like each other. I don't think they came in there with good intentions. I do believe that Brittany is literally playing this whole facade, as I've already said in my previous episode video, that she's got a whole facade going on, making people think that she's this airhead when she is not. She is a very calculated woman, and she will get what she wants. And it wouldn't surprise me, the reason why she's putting on these waterworks is to draw Leo in even more, because she knows the games to play. If this woman has been going out with whatever she said and rock stars and this, she knows the manipulation techniques that she can use in order to get what she wants out of a person. She ain't dumb. She really ain't dumb. Brittany is basically saying that she is kind of upset that he is seeing someone else, but she ain't gonna beg someone to be with her. But this is what I've just said, it plays into that. Like, she ain't gonna use the words to beg him to choose her, but she's gonna use actions in order to manipulate the situation to where she wants it to be. And this is where I said Leo turns around and says that he believes that Brittany is quite smart and believes that people underestimate Brittany, and Brittany does agree to that. And I think that's true. I really think that's true. That's why I said this girl ain't no airhead. She knows exactly what to do and how to get it. She ain't stupid. She really ain't. Leo said before our date today, this to get this is why I said these people need help. Yeah, Leo said before our date today, you were number 2, and now after their date, he is number 1. So he's pegged her level with Hannah. What in the bullshit? No, but really, what in the bullshit? I swear I would have ghosted him. That would be the point. I would have said, you know what, you can call me for dates, but I ain't doing it. Miggy, I'm going home. I ain't doing it. That is But as I keep saying, there's a hint of desperation with these people, so they'll allow this whole heap of emotional manipulation to continue. Because how I see it is Leo is a player, and not a good one either. Like, seriously, not a good one. Because what kind of bullshit is that? How would you sit there to the woman that you said you don't want to say the L-bomb to because you're afraid, yeah, but you are falling for that person, and then in the next breath you're telling the person, oh, before this date you were at number 2, but now you're number 1, joint with the other person that I'm forming a connection with. Hi, I'm shocked. I ain't gonna lie, I'm shocked by these people. I really am. And the best is yet to come. I'm absolutely flabbergasted, gobsmacked by these people. So then you see Hannah with Nick, and she basically let him know that she kind of regretted that decision that she made with them. She admits that she made the wrong decision. And basically Nick D does tell her that he was absolutely hurt by her decision, because he literally wants this woman. He wants her now. I don't know how many which ways he can tell this woman that he wants her, and it's literally falling on deaf ears. So Hannah does let it slip that she listened to others, namely Katie and Ashley W, basically to end things with Nick. And I thought, Nick, doesn't that give you pause for concern in regards to the maturity of this person that you're chatting to and that you're literally trying to fight for? How easily that she can be swayed? Like, seriously, Hannah turns around to Nick and then says she has no idea of what she's doing. I said, yeah, if I was Nick D, I'd run for the hills. I'd run for the motherfucking hills, searching salvation all the way, because no. So basically, Hannah has showed her ass to the world, yeah, at how easily she can be manipulated due to her own insecurities and lack of emotional maturity. That's how I'm seeing it. But you can let me know what you think. So she tells Nick D that she's so scared because he's so confident, and she has this feeling that he will break her heart. Why are you trying to do a self-fulfilling prophecy, my girl? Because the more you keep fluffing that out into the universe, it's going to happen for you. Do you know what I mean? And then she can say, look, I told you. I knew it. I knew this would happen. Well, no, it was a self-fulfilling prophecy because you flapped it into the universe, so the universe gave you what you wanted. That's how I'm going to see it. At that point, I was just kind of like, why did you bring this man into this room to chat this crap in his ear roll for? So Nick, rightfully so, bats it back to her and says, well, you could do the same things to me. I'm not how you're portraying me to be. I'm quite an emotional and sensitive type person. So basically, the upshot is he's open to, like, keep talking to Hannah, and Hannah wants to keep talking to her. So the fucked up thing is right after that, my gal has a date with Leo. Again, Leo is on his bullshit. Can we all say bullshit? Because that is what Leo is on. He's talking about how he has a strong connection with both Brittany and with both of Hannah, because he's realised and Hannah's realised, like, who else is dating in this place. It would have happened at some point at the end of the day. So I've come to the conclusion, people. Can we say garbage? Because Leo is garbage. He needs to get in that bin truck and be carted away. He's absolute rubbish. Leo is rubbish. So Hannah has a second chance with Nick D in order to sort her situations out with him. She needs to stop hanging the trail with Leo, because she needs to leave him alone and let Brittany take him. Seriously, let Brittany take him, because Leo's not worth anybody's time. So basically Hannah gives him an out in regards to, like, you know, him having two people, because at the end of the day she says, well, that's what you're here to do, this is what you're here to figure out. And I thought, yeah, it's true in a way, but if a person is saying the same kind of things intentionally to the other person that they're dating, that they're saying to you, then that's when I think it goes into the realm of you're manipulating the situation. You're giving an impression to both women that you actually want them, when there's one that you probably want more. You shouldn't be saying the same things to one as you do to the other, and that's what Leo does. That's what really Leo does, to literally wind them in, like him telling Hannah about them, their twin flames. He's telling Brittany that he's falling for her and he can see himself marrying her and being with her and da. No. Because somebody is going to get hurt in that scenario, and it's going to be either Brittany or Hannah. I believe it might be Hannah, but someone is seriously going to get hurt in that scenario. And Leo's not even thinking about that. All he's thinking about, he's the big I am, I'm the man, I've got two women on the go. That's what that man is thinking about. We go to Tyler and Garrett. So basically she gets him an avocado plant, and she expresses that, you know, why the avocado plant is like herself, and that the fact that this tree will give fruit in like 5 to 7 years, and that's how she thought how long she would want to have children. I was like, oh, okay. So Tyler does feel excited about herself and Garrett. So basically Garrett does turn around and have a question for him, and it's in regards to her timeline in relation to having children, because he says it's too long. I think in this round, when it comes to this experiment, when it comes to if they make a go of it and they continue, that they should wait technically a while to have children, because you're still getting to know the person that you married. Because don't forget, you married, that you got to know them over a short period of time. You go on a honeymoon for about a week or 2 weeks, however long, then you live with them for the rest of the show, and then but smack bang, you're at an altar deciding whether you're going to say yes. Now, if you both do say yes, then you're still going to need to get to know that person, because later on down the line, you lot might not even stay married. Do you know what I mean? It only takes the special ones who wants to make it work that would do that. So yes, I would agree with Tyler in terms of waiting to have children, because at the end of the day, it will be a fucked up scenario. Bad enough it don't work out and you just walk away, your marriage ends. But to have children involved in that shit, yeah, that'll be a fucked up scenario in my books at the end of the day, because it'll be a whole different ball game. So basically Tyler talks about their life and how good it will be. She does ask Garrett, like, are you going to ask me to be your girlfriend? So he does ask, she says no. So Tyler is willing to make Garrett work for it, and that's what we need to see. You need to be willing to make these people work for it, man. Don't give it so easily, like I've seen some of the people in here do. So Garrett basically says he doesn't want to end the date without Tyler being his girlfriend. So I thought, will Garrett get his own way? But he don't. So Tyler turns around and says, well, we're in a situationship right now. And even though they were both jokey, Tyler basically says that she can see Garrett being her life partner, and basically says Tyler says that she's not worried about his looks, because he does bring that up. And Garrett does highlight that, you know, sometimes people do care about how you look, and it's true, to be fair, because we've seen many a times where people become emotionally connected in this show. They get engaged, the door goes back, and it's like, yeah, whack back. No, it's not for them, and people have walked away just because the person isn't how they envisioned that they would look, even though it's supposed to be Love is Blind. Do you know what I mean? They sit there and paint these pretty pictures within the pods, tell them that they're feeling this way, they're feeling that way, and they could be. And it doesn't matter about looks and and then when you come out, the first thing that they do, it does matter about looks at the end of the day. So we get to Marissa and Bodan. So Bodan talks about how he was born in the Ukraine, but the father who raised him was Filipino. So I'm like, okay, so he may have a good playbook about how men are within those two differing cultures, to be honest with you, because usually the Ukrainians and the Filipinos that I've known about or met, when they get married, that's it. That's it. That's their wife. Do you know what I mean? And they look after them like nobody else. So we'll see how that goes. So they do have books in common. And then they, of course, talk about Harry freaking Potter. and Marissa does have a tattoo in terms of Harry Potter or something on her body somewhere. I said, less said about the author who penned those books, they're freaking better. Let's just put it that way. So basically, Bodan tells a story about how he had a near-death experience via a camel. It was weird because it just went on for ages. So basically, he was bum rushed by a camel, and the camel reared up and he nearly got crushed. He nearly felt that, you know what, he's over there, because I think he was in the Marine Corps. And then he got drafted, I think he said to Iran. I think that's where he said he got drafted to. Don't quote me. And basically, he took a photo of this camel. This camel looked him dead in the eye. This camel started hissing. He decided to run. He got hit in the back by this camel. He turned on his back, looked on the front, and the camel had reared up with his hoofs in the air. And at that point, he thought he was going to die. Okay. So then he goes on to another story about nearly dying in Ukraine. So Marissa wanted to know about that. So basically what happened is the war in Ukraine, because he has family and, you know, he was born there and that's where his affinity was. He wanted to leave his job, even though they did keep the job open for him, and literally go over to Ukraine. He says to help, but I believe it was to fight over there. I'm not saying anything more than that, but that's exactly what, you know, Bodan was saying. So Marissa understood his need to do that because she was in the military as well. I said the date was okay, but you know, it was it was boring. It was okay, it was boring. So then we get to see a little bit of Ramses, because I ain't seen him a lot, to be honest with you. So he's in the room talking to Bodan, of all people, talking about love triangles. And I thought, my guy, it's already happening and you're in a love triangle. Because after that chat, he goes and has a date with Marissa, because he's very taken with Marissa, but she is connecting with Bodan as well. She turns around and Ramses does talk about how the fact that he was married to his high school sweetheart. And sometimes I wonder if being married when you've been married previously, is it an advantage within the pods? Because on one hand, you could say that you know what, they're serious about commitment because they've been married before. And then on the other hand, you can say, well, it didn't work out, but what was the issue with that? So he basically said that he was married for 4.5 years and he was moving away from Christianity because they were both had the same faith and background, and he started to move away from that Christianity, and that's how they got together, but it didn't work out for them. He basically said that he feels that his dad is overcritical of him. And I'm kind of like, well, that's stuff that stays with you, to be honest, but you have to be quite careful that you then don't perpetuate what you've had onto someone else. So Marissa does talk about her own experiences as well. So Ramses talks about he has good examples of what it is in terms of to be a man, especially within a relationship and within a marriage, and he learned that through good friends that he's involved with, basically. So Marissa turned around and she highlighted the fact that she was so comfortable with him because he's able to talk about gender roles and toxic masculinity and how he's moved away from all of that. Marissa then turns around and said, because I think in response to Ramses saying if she has a type, and she was like, no, she doesn't. But she did decide. She dated a conservative Trumper for 3 years. As a black woman. I was like, that's red flag number 1 for me with Marissa. Because I was thinking, how as a black woman did that work out for you? Like, seriously, how did that work out for you? Because what in the hell? So then Marissa then said she dated a progressive liberal guy. And I thought, yeah, your taste in men leaves a lot to be desired, my friend. So Marissa turned around and she said the reason why she dated these people was because she dates people for who they are. And I'm like, okay, you dated a full-on Trump-supporting conservative. And people are well aware of their views and what they signed up for in voting for Trump at the end of the day. So I thought, how can she literally date a person whose views and general outlook in life, especially towards minorities, doesn't align with hers on a fundamental level, if that's the case? Because that's weird as hell. That is weird. Yeah, flagged. Red girl flagged. is all I'm going to say. Red girl flagged for Marissa. So Ramses does say to Marissa, if I asked you to marry me, and already Marissa's like, no, it's too soon, I'm not ready yet, But I think is, when will you know when you're ready? If you've been through the process, because it's a sped up process, and like, I think they're dating every single day, they're doing these dates every single day, it's not like every week, once a week, or this, that and all that, then you're going to have an idea of who it is that you're more leaning towards. So I don't understand how you end up with these triangles. Yes, you can connect with two people. Yes, you can love more than one person, but there's always going to be a little something that supersedes that and makes you go down a train that you want to go down. You will have an idea of who it is that you want to be with by now. Anyway, so we go back to the women's quarters, and Taylor had said in her date to Garrett that her favourite flower was sunflowers, which was his mother's favourite flower. So as she's sitting there talking to one of the girls, she looks back and she sees a tub with sunflowers in it, and there's a note written there with her name on it. She's like, okay, she loved it because he was listening. So she reads out the note to Monica, and at the bottom he did ask her to be his girlfriend. So I have to say it was sweet, to be fair. So Taylor does tick the yes box, and I was like, okay, now it's real. And she then puts what I thought was perfume on it. It wasn't, it was pheromones. And I thought, oh my God, fam, she wants this man to go. Once he smelt that, because that will set him off no end. So then we go to Tim and Alex. All I'm going to say with Tim and Alex is, when they talk, I think Tim likes to talk about himself way too much. He's always, I know it's going to sound bad, but he's always kind of like seriously got a sub story that makes him cry and then makes her cry. He doesn't necessarily know that much about Alex. But then also, as well, on top of that, it's like they brag about certain situations within their lives. Like with Alex, when she turns around and talks about her grandfather was the head of, or worked with, the Nation of Islam, and then talked about how there's a photo of them when he met Muhammad Ali, and then they both started batting off with each other. And this is what I mean. It's kind of, it just becomes very braggy. Their conversations, to me, this is my opinion, what I've been watching, becomes quite braggy. I don't necessarily like it. Like, I really don't. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying not to be negative. I'm trying to find the positives, but none of these people are giving me the vibe. Like, none of them that are having dates so far are giving me the vibe. I mean, in the first episode, as I said, Ashley A and Tyler might be giving me the vibe, but then that could change at the drop of a hat. So you see Taylor and Garrett are now back in the room, and they're all dressed up. So we all know what's coming. We all know what's coming, basically. So she's given him a box on his side with loads of notes. He's sent her roses and stuff. So she began to read like one of the notes for her, because they were her grandfather's letters to her grandmother. And basically she read out the one where the grandfather had asked the grandmother to marry him. So then she ends up reading out her own note after she's read all of that, basically. And then he gets up and he starts to speak, because he goes quite silent, and it takes a while because he's feeling all the damn feels at the end of the day. So I thought, here it comes, it's the marry me speech. And he does, he asks her to marry him, and she says yes. So now we have Taylor and Garrett as a couple, people. Taylor and Garrett. So we go back to Monica and Stephen. This is the bullshit I was talking about. This one. So Monica decides to ask Stephen, like, if he voted, and he says yeah. And, you know, Stephen is a veteran, so she thanks him for his service, and he goes, you need to stop doing that now, because yada yada yada. She goes, I know, but I still have to show appreciation for what you've done for this country. Okay, fine. He says he voted and it was rough. Straight away when he said that, I know this man is going to turn around and say he voted for Trump. I can just see it about him. Like, seriously can see it about him. So then he explains that his dad is a Republican. And he didn't agree with his dad's decision in the fact that because he's a Republican, that's why he's going to keep voting for them. Basically, Stephen said that he's a centrist and believes in what his candidate stands for. Stephen voted for Trump. Bearing in mind, he said he believes what his candidate stands for. And the reason why he voted for Trump is because he said he didn't like Hillary. Is that believing in what your candidate stands for, is it? rather telling that. So, Monica doesn't say anything at this point. So I'm like, okay, please, Monica, come on. So Stephen then continues to say he despised the way Trump handled himself when he was in office. I said, my guy wasn't handling himself when on a campaign trail either, but you know what? You still made the decision to vote for the man and put him in office. You know what I mean? So basically, he then turned around and said, in the last election, he then voted for Biden. He says he voted for Biden because he thought about his decision a lot more. And he had passion when he went into his second vote. And his first vote was not an educated vote. I was like, yeah, red flag, man. This man is over-explaining too much for me. As to why he voted the way that he voted. Because basically what he's saying is that his views and what Trump was selling aligned with what it was that he saw going on. His uneducated vote. Yeah. And this, Monica continues still be silent. So I thought, please be taking this on board. Like, seriously, as a black woman, Monica, please, my gal, take this on board. So, another red flag for me was Stephen said that he has a bit of a weird story when it comes to his family lineage. I was like, okay. Stephen says, for the most part, I identify as white. I was like, what? Come again, my dude? Because me looking at you is, you are a white dude. You white. You ain't a person of colour and you ain't black. You're definitely white. So I kind of have an idea, as he was talking, where this was going. At first I was like, nah, you need to shut up, my guy. But then I thought, no, Monica needs to hear this and know what type of man she's talking to. Okay, because again, Monica is still silent at this point. So he turns around and he says his grandmother on his dad's side was German. She told them for many years that on his dad's side of the family was Italian. So Stephen grew up always thinking that, you know what, I've got a little bit of flavour here. And he says it, you know, in the stereotypical black voice, that he's Italian. Monica starts to laugh and I thought, this is how I know Monica isn't going to listen to what this man is saying. Like, and basically feed into the bullshit that he's saying right now, because she's laughing. So he says 3 years ago, his sister decided to do Ancestry.com. So he says it turns out he's not even Italian. So now, he said, actually, it pinpointed that his family were from Nigeria, Congolese, Sierra Leone, and primarily from a lot of West Africa. And I just thought, why do you think that is, my guy? It begins with S and ends with Y. But why, Stephen, do you think that is? So then my guy actually does the percentage of how black his dad is to a black woman. Does a percentage of how black his dad is. Says that he's 3/5 black. I was like, at this point, at this point, please, no, don't say no more, don't say no more. So he turns around and he says he pretty much identified himself as white. And I'm like, guy, you are fully white presenting. You are a white man, you ain't. Oh, Jesus. because Stephen has a privilege that most black people or people of colour won't have. So this whole conversation to me was nonsensical, like absolutely nonsensical. And I thought, Monica, as a black woman, when you're listening to this, you need to be a little bit wary, like honestly be a little bit wary in terms of this man's views in regards to the world around him. Like seriously, no, Monica was on board with the man. And especially when he turned around and he said that he ended up getting some Ghanaian books around and other books around African cultures to gain some perspective. I have no words. I have no words. And Monica took fully what he said, no question at all. My whole face was like, beam me the fuck up, Scotty, right now. Like, seriously? Seriously? So growing up, Monica basically said that she was always confused with the consensus type forms where they ask you for your race and ethnicity. That confused the hell out of her. So she explained that she's mixed. Her mum is from Honduras. Her parents are both mixed. And her dad is a black African American. Well, her mum's parents are both mixed, I should have said. And apparently she then said that her dad has some Cherokee ancestry. I said at this point, this conversation just went from bad to worse. At this point, Monica just put her whole lack of intellect on display. Oh, Jesus. So Stephen shot back with, you are a real mutt girl. I just thought, what in a racist microaggression fuck shit is this? And Monica turned around, dear old Monica turned around and agreed and said, I am a mutt. I'm silent because I just have no words. I have no words for that whole conversation. It was not, it was... And then Stephen had the audacity to carry on, yeah, because now he knows what type of woman he's talking to now. He knows what type of woman he's talking to. So he carries on with his bullshit. Talking about, and I'm paraphrasing, like, you don't get married for selfish reasons. You get married because you're looking to that person to make you a better version of yourself. You're looking to that person to provide you with new ideas and stuff that you need to think about and do, or paths to follow. So basically, it's about forcing someone to be a better version of themselves. Flags everywhere. Flags everywhere, and they're all red. Flags every damn where, and they're all red. They're all red. Monica then turns around and says to Stephen, oh, you make me feel so super confident. She called him a good guy. She called him sweet. And I thought, after that whole conversation, my gal, bare fucking minimum. That whole conversation would have had me running for the rotted hills. I mostly identify as white. My dude, you are white as the driven snow. Called her a mutt. And she agreed. Oh, Jesus. So then we see Ashley A and Tyler have a date, and like he's already calling her his wife. So he wrote a prayer for them before they went to eat, and he read it out. Ashley A got emotional, and basically I'm still shocked from the other one, but I'll keep going. So Ashley and Tyler's date does go well, but I am waiting for the other shoe to drop with these two as well. He says he ain't bothered by how Ashley A looks. So they do listen to their song playlist, and I don't know if it's Ashley A or Tyler puts on a song. And you know, it's one of those heartfelt songs with all the right words in them, and then Tyler turns around and tells Ashley A that he loves her and that she's safe and she's protected and that he'll always have her back, and like she's for life now. And I'm just like, if you well and truly believe our words and say it. But if you really well and truly don't believe the words that are coming out of your mouth and you're just saying it in a moment, do not say that. Do not say that shit. So Ashley I got hella emotional. And all I would say is Tyler can chat for days. So then we get to the end of this episode, but we don't fully get to see the reaction from Tyler and Garrett when they do meet, because they're about to meet and the doors have gone back. But now we're going to roll into the next episode. So this is where I'm going to end it, because this is a long one, because my God, duh. Yeah, man. All I'm going to say is, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that notification button so you know I'm on and doing videos. Please comment, like, share, and do the good things that you do, because you know I'm on the road to 1K. And I'll speak to you all again soon. Peace out.